Welcome, family. Family time is holiday time, or holiday time is family time. I'm Tom Vassell, and we're here to talk about 12 great family games for you to get for somebody, or to have someone get for you over Christmas. First, I want to say a quick thanks to our sponsor, Above Board TV. They're a YouTube channel, and they do all kinds of extreme gaming. They are, in the future, on their YouTube channel, they're going to be playing a game on a glacier. They're going to be playing a game on a live volcano. And as of this video, they're playing a game with sharks swimming around them underneath the water. What? Yes, it's too many bones. It's a big, complicated game, and they're actually playing it underwater. Well, you know what? I don't know why I'm telling you this. Go watch the video, and then comment on the video. Why would you want to comment? Well, you might like the video or, have something to say about it. But also, one of those commenters is going to win one of the games from our lists. Actually, several commenters will win that. And one grand prize winner is going to win a 3-day, 2-night trip to LA, where you will get to play games with the Above Board TV and get things recorded. It's going to be exciting. Hope you have a good time. I hope you win. And either way, check their channel out. And if you like it, subscribe to it. And if you like our channel, subscribe to it, because right now we're going to talk about great family games. Games is really important to me. I play games with my family all the time. I love playing games and finding that family weight game where everyone can play it. Or maybe you know a new family, a young family, an old family, and you want to buy them a gift to play with. Or you don't even have a family, you just want these kind of games that are going to work in all situations. So we got 12 of them for you here. Let's get started.
Okay, so now we are ready for our first family game on the list. And this is Seven Wonders Architects. Seven Wonders Architects, I can tell you so much about this and how much I like the game, but let me tell you something. I'm kind of embarrassed to say this. I mean, no one's looking. I like it more than Seven Wonders. I do. I don't know why. This game, the whole thing is, I don't know if it's building the monument. As you start to build that monument in front of you, it just looks good. And you can look around the table and you can see the progress as people flip that monument. They get higher and higher. And every monument, every one of these wonders, I guess, every wonder is going to give a different ability and played a different way. Because each time when you grab it, you get this asymmetric wonder that is going to kind of guide you into a certain method of play. I really enjoy it, and I like the fact that the case it comes in, it's really well designed as far as it comes out, and then you're ready to play. There's not much setup at all. But it's very rules light. Again, rules light, strategy heavy. So you could explain how to play the game very quickly. So Seven Wonders was one I was fine on. It was fine. I mean, I played it a couple times because people loved it. It's fine. But this one I really enjoyed, and I played this for the first time, and I thought I need to own this. So I do. Oh, Merry Christmas to me. But this is a really good. So if you like Seven Wonders, try Seven Wonders Architects. Even if you don't like Seven Wonders, give this one a try. It's similar, but a different game on its own, and it looks good on the table, and I enjoy it. That is Seven Wonders Architects.
Up next, we have Cat in the Box, which is a very unique trick-taking game. We've seen in the last few years that the trick-taking genre has been going in very interesting and exciting directions, and Cat in the Box is certainly high up on that list. The idea behind it is that in a traditional trick-taking game, there are going to be particular suits of cards, and oftentimes they'll be represented by colors. Well, in Cat in the Box, all of the cards are black. They are suitless until you determine, when you play it out, what that suit is going to be. You will state it if you are leading this trick. It's a very unique idea. It changes the way a lot of people might look at trick-taking games. It throws the genre a bit on its head. It also adds in a little bit of an area control element. So a very unique game, but also very approachable. I've seen this one played with groups of people of multiple different age groups, and it has gone over very well. Cat in the Box is a really, really unique game that I think would be very popular to receive as a gift.
Next up in our family category, we're going to talk about Dog Park. Dogs, to me growing up, are such an integral part of my family. So to bring the family together and then play a game where the central mechanism is, or the central theme, I guess, is you're trying to go out and walk the dogs and be the best dog walker on the block. It's so heartwarming to me. But at the base of it, this is still a really good mechanically sound game. It's got a little bit of action, but it's not too mean. And then it has this really nice path that you're going down. You can go as far as you want, but whoever's in back gets to take the next action. So kind of that push your luck, how far can I go and still get the resources I want? And at the end of the day, set collection, trying to really maximize your power. So there's more going on in this game than it might look, but it's still that family weight game. I think it's very accessible. I think it's very relatable to families, and it's about walking dogs. How very, very pleasant. So if that sounds interesting, check out Dog Park.
First Rat is next up on our list, and this one is super cute. You're rats, you're trying to get into space, and you want to be the first one there. There's a bunch of different races that you're trying to do. You're trying to build your spaceship first, or different parts of your spaceship. You're trying to actually escape. You're trying to move up on the track the quickest. So it's a bunch of cute little races, good decisions, a little bit of engine building, and adorable fun for the family.
Up next, we've got Get On Board, which is a terrific family game about driving buses. And you are trying to pick up passengers and deliver them to the places that they want to go. So students might want to go to a university, things along those lines, tourists wanting to go to tourist spots. And this is all done by placing out little sticks on a centralized board that represent the route you can take. And so there are some rules to this where you cannot cross over a spot you've already been to before, things along those lines. But the central driving mechanic of this is going to be cards. So you'll flip over a card at the beginning of the round. It's going to give you a particular type of route that you can lay. Maybe it's 2 straight lines in a row, maybe it's 1 straight line and then a turn. And so you have to use this to plan out the best route. And you don't want to have traffic. If you go on a spot that another player has gone before, that creates traffic. That's not good. Get On Board is a reimplementation of a game called Let's Make a Bus Route, and it is a very nicely done version of the game with some very nice components, beautiful artwork, and a very approachable and fun game. That is Get On Board.
Next up, we've got one of the most beloved games in recent years. This is Heat, Pedal to the Metal. And this is a racing game in which you are going to be managing the heat on your engine block and the cards you have available to you in order to zip around the track you're playing on, of which you have a couple of choices, and try to come out ahead after the laps necessary to win. In game terms, you are going to be taking some risks, playing cards out with movement values, trying to gauge where you think the other players are going to end up and how much of a risk you want to take as you come into a corner. Because if you blow past that corner at too high a risk or too high a speed, then you'll be taking a lot of this heat, and you don't want those heat cards in your deck because you just draw them up and they junk up your hand. You also can shift down your gears, slow down a little bit, and take some of these heat cards, put them back on your on the table on your player board, and get them out of your player deck so that you are more efficient. But if you're ignoring it entirely, you're not utilizing your engine to its fullest. So you do want to take some of these cards as you perhaps push your luck just a little bit. And the player who can walk that tightrope the best is going to come out ahead. That is Heat, Pedal to the Metal.
Next up, we're going to recommend Lord of the Rings Adventure to Mount Doom. Now, at its core, this is a roll and move game. I think that makes the mechanisms very familiar for families. It's something that they've seen before and are comfortable with, as well as it's pretty simple. You roll some dice, you move. But what keeps this coming back to the table and keeps it interesting for people who are into games as well is the mitigation of those dice. So we usually talk about mitigation. It's like you can change the die roll or things like that. That's not the case here. You have a shared group of people that you're trying to get to Mount Doom, and it's all the characters you know. You have your Aragorn and your Pippin and Merry and Frodo, of course, and Sam, and you're trying to ultimately get the ring bearer up to Mount Doom to complete his quest. In order to do that though, they each have a different color die that you roll. So each turn you get to select 2 of those colors to roll and assign the dice to. So you have a little bit of mitigation with that, or choice is more of what it is, in who you're going to move. You also get to decide how far they're going to go. Are you going to try and push it past the town? Or are you going to try and keep them back a little bit so that they are contributing to the fights and helping overcome the Nazgul and things like that? So it is cooperative. You're working together. You're having great conversations. It's also pretty difficult. So if they really like the Lord of the Rings series and they're immersed into that theme or like that, that's going to be familiar. If they played games before and are familiar with this roll and move, there's something there for them as well. At the same time, if they played a lot of games but need something that is more family oriented here in the scope of who it can reach, then there's something for them as well. So it kind of hits all those categories, and for that I think it's a great choice. Lord of the Rings Adventure to Mount Doom.
Imperial Miners is up next. This one in the same universe, the same place as Imperial Settlers, using the same sort of cutesy art style, but a much simpler game than that. Here you are mining the depths, and you are going to be playing cards in order to dig on down. Every time you play a new card, you will activate that card, but you will also activate every card that connects to it above as you make your way back up to the surface in a very clever system. The first card you play, very little will happen. You'll activate that card and your camp up top. But perhaps your 5th card you play, you will play that card, and then one above it, and then another one, and then perhaps you can go one of 2 different ways, or you'll make your choice there until you make it all the way back up to the surface. There's some collection of resources, there's some hand management, and a bunch of other interesting things, while keeping the game very simple and straightforward, very quick as well, because the players will be able to simultaneously go through their turns and take care of their upkeep, take care of their actions, and once everyone's done, then you return to the top of the next round with an event phase. So one that is quite approachable, simple, but has a lot of charm, a lot of little moments and things to think about, and I personally find to be wonderful, quick, and the return is above and beyond the time expenditure that you'll be putting into the game. So that is Imperial Miners.
So the next family game here is Micro Macro. This is basically a game where there's this gigantic map splayed out that kind of has all these different scenes of all these characters doing different stuff. You're going to start with a card that's going to kind of give you a starting location, trying to find a character and kind of like go through this murder mystery or different mysteries of different things and crimes that could happen to these characters. Overall, you do have to be careful about some of the stuff because some of the stuff could be not as family friendly as others. But overall, this is a really fun game. It feels very much like Where's Waldo, a board game a little bit, because you're finding the character, because as the path goes along, they're doing different things, and you can try to figure out what happened. And as you figure out what happened, you're going to be revealing them on these different cards, and you have like uncovering the crime and discovering everything that happens. This is just a lot of fun. My kids have had a blast with this. My family's had a lot of fun with this. Just trying to like look through these things, and the art is great on this. It's all like black and white with all different characters, but it's really cool to see the character kind of moving along and all the different stuff that happens as the game goes along. But yeah, that is Micro Macro, a great game to play or get for your family during the holiday season.
If you want a game that's better than Clue, then I would recommend Museum Suspects. This has the same type of idea of trying to figure out who done it. There's been a thief in the museum, and you have to figure out which one of these animal folk here were the ones who did it. Every turn you'll look at a piece of evidence, and it's going to tell you which of the people in the grid it was not. It was not anyone who's an eagle, or it's not anyone who has a green background. And you secretly start eliminating those choices, but you also have to make suspicion bets. You have to put out these tokens onto people who you think that it might be, because if those are correct, then that's the points you're going to get at the end of the game. So based on the things that you do know in secret, and based on how you see other people placing their tokens out in public, you have to try to figure out who could it be? Well, it's not that one, even though it has a lot of tokens, because I know it's not an octopus. I like this one a lot because it is like the deduction in Clue, but I think done more unique. It doesn't have the roll and move or anything to it. It's just a great family game. I think this is a great way to introduce deductive thought to players who maybe haven't tried these types of games, and it works well for families with younger kids and families who just want to play a fun deduction game. So that's Museum Suspects.
Our next game is Robot Quest Arena. Now this is a fun little deck building game in which you play a person controlling a robot in an arena, thus the name. Now, you run around the arena trying to destroy your fellow robots. But the nice thing is even when your robot gets destroyed, you come right back and you're back into it. It's a pretty fast-paced, fairly quick game, and it's a blast to play. Literally, if you take the card Blast and start blowing up robots.
Ending today's list is Rome in a Day. This takes the genre of I split and you choose and makes it into one of my favorite games that packs a lot of gameplay into an incredibly short playtime. Every player will simultaneously have 5 landscape tiles put in front of them, and then we'll secretly split them up. 2 tiles on one side, 3 on the other, or maybe 4 and 1, or if you're really bold, 5 and 0. But the problem is that you split up those tiles, someone else next to you is going to take one of those bundles and leave you with the other one. So you don't want to make one too juicy and the other one too weak, but maybe they really want red tiles, so you can put just one red tile on its own, and you might keep the other 4. As that's happening to you, you also simultaneously get to look at the pot that someone else split up and take one of theirs. And then you switch directions every round. 4 rounds to the game. And you're building up these little landscapes. The landscape building is so simple because the idea of splitting up these plots of land is so fun, and yet so simple. It's very thoughtful. But my kid, who was 7 at the time when we were playing this, really liked it because she wanted to collect all the gems from taking all the smaller pools, and she got a ton of points from that. Or maybe she could build a huge landscape by continuously taking the larger pools, or doing a mix of the two. This one's surprisingly approachable for how fun and thinky that it can be, and like I said, plays in under 20 minutes. Really like it a lot, so I recommend Rome in a Day.
Thanks for watching another video in our series of the 12 Games of Christmas. A couple things before we go out. First of all, we've mentioned lots of different things that you can get here, and there's board games and all sorts of stuff, and we checked to make sure that these were available online. So we checked at the different online game stores like Game Nerds, we checked the publisher sites themselves, and we checked Amazon. And in fact, if they're available on Amazon, we have those links in the description. You just go right there and buy them. And if you do that, anything, when you buy there, or if you buy other stuff too, that helps us here at the Dice Tower. So keep that in mind. Also, don't forget our sponsor, Aboveboard TV. Go check out their channel. Go enter the contest by commenting on that video we mentioned. And as a side note, this contest is available only to those in the U.S. now for different reasons. But even if you're from all over the world, you can at least go check out their content and laugh as they play board games in fun and weird ways. Anyway, folks, thanks so much for watching these. I hope these lists are a help to you. Check out the other 9 videos. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and this is the 12 Games of Christmas of 2023 on the Dice Tower.